Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something super special. We're stepping back in time to explore a legendary, magical tale and asking a really important question. Who is the true friend?
So, are you ready to solve a magical riddle? Because, this isn't just a story where you sit back and listen. No way. This explainer is actually a puzzle, and I'm going to need your help to figure it out. We'll follow the adventure, look for clues, and see if your brain is as sharp as a legendary king's.
Section 1. The Brave King and Betaal, a spooky forest adventure.
Okay, picture this, a dark, haunted forest. The wind is howling, the trees are making these creepy, scratching noises, and the moon is totally hidden behind thick gray clouds. Walking right into the middle of all that spookiness is our hero, King Vikramaditya of Ujjain. He was absolutely famous for his courage, his intelligence, and his incredible sense of justice. Seriously, he wasn't afraid of anything. He stood tall with a booming voice, and he was there because a magician gave him a highly secret mission to fetch something from the deep, dark woods.
And what exactly was he looking for? Well, Betaal. Betaal was this mysterious, kind of tricky spirit who literally lived hanging entirely upside down from the branches of a giant, ancient tree. Betaal had a raspy, whispering voice, and he loved nothing more than playing games. More specifically, he loved telling really strange stories and asking incredibly difficult riddles.
So, here are the magical rules of Betaal's game. Step 1. King Vikramaditya has to actually carry the upside-down Betaal on his shoulders through this spooky forest. Step 2. While they're walking, Betaal tells the king a story that ends with a tricky riddle. And Step 3. If the king answers the riddle correctly using his famous intelligence, whoosh! Betaal laughs loudly, flies right off the king's shoulders, and goes all the way back to his tree, which means the king has to start the whole thing all over again.
Section 2. Two Friends and a Bear. A walk in the woods gets scary.
All right, so our brave king puts Betaal on his shoulders, and they start walking. And right on cue, Betaal begins to tell his tale. His story begins simply enough. We meet Ramu and Somu. They're two friends from a small village, and they are traveling together right through the middle of a dense forest. It's a gorgeous day, the birds are singing, and the two friends are just chatting, feeling perfectly safe because, well, they've got each other.
But then, out of nowhere, crack! A branch snaps in the distance. The bushes start to rustle, and suddenly, look out! A huge, heavy, growling bear steps right out onto the path, and it is coming straight for them.
Section 3. The Great Bear Escape. What would you do?
Just put yourself in their shoes for a second. You're in the woods, a giant bear appears, and you literally only have seconds to react. Let's look at their plans. Somo reacts instantly. He runs to the nearest tall tree, climbs up those branches as fast as a monkey, and just sits at the very top to save himself. But Ramu doesn't even know how to climb trees. He is completely stuck on the ground. So thinking incredibly fast on his feet, Ramu comes up with a different plan. He lies flat on the dirt, closes his eyes, holds his breath, and pretends to be completely dead. And you know what? The huge bear comes lumbering over, it gets right up close to Ramu, it sniffs his hair, sniffs right near his ear, and then, deciding Ramu is just a boring old log, the bear turns around and just walks away. No way, right? Ramu's crazy plan actually worked. He's safe. So once the giant bear is completely out of sight, Somo climbs back down from his perfectly safe spot high up in the tree. He walks over to Ramu, who's currently dusting the dirt off his clothes. Somo looks pretty curious, and he asks his friend, "What did the bear whisper in your ear?"
Ramu just looks at Somu. He gives him this warm, knowing smile, and he replies, "The bear told me never to trust a friend who leaves you alone in danger." Wow. What a brilliant and clever thing to say.
Section 4. Betaal's tricky question. It's your turn to guess.
Right at this exact moment in the story, the spooky spirit Betaal pauses. He looks down at King Vikram from his spot on the king's shoulders and whispers into the dark night, asking the king, who is the true friend among the two? Okay, everybody at home, we are stopping right here. I want you to think about Somu running up the tree and think about Ramu on the ground. Shout out your answer right now. Who do you think is the true friend?
Section 5. The King's Clever Answer. Did you guess it right?
Did you shout it out? Okay, let's see if your brain is as sharp as the legendary king's. Let's find out exactly what King Vikram said to that tricky spirit. With his booming, brave voice cutting right through the spooky forest, King Vikram immediately answered, "Ramu is the true friend, because he remained brave even in danger. Somu only cared about saving himself. He didn't even hesitate. Ramu kept his wits about him, while Somu totally abandoned his friend the second things got scary."
And because the king's answer was so perfectly wise and correct, well, you know what happens next. Just like the magical rules stated, Betaal lets out this loud, raspy laugh, and whoosh, he flies right off the king's shoulders, zipping all the way back into the dark woods to hang upside down on his giant tree once again. Yep, the king's gonna have to go all the way back and get him and face another story and another riddle.
Section 6, the moral of the story and what we learned today.
Before King Vikram goes chasing after Betaal again, let's just take a deep breath, leave the spooky forest, and uncover our lesson. Because every good magical story has a little treasure for us to take away. Let's read this together, nice and slow. A true friend is someone who stands by you in difficult times. That is the absolutely crucial point of this whole explainer. You see, it's really easy to be a friend when the sun is shining and you're just walking through the woods eating snacks. But when a bear shows up, when things get hard or scary or sad, that is when you find out who your real friends actually are. Real friends don't just climb trees and leave you behind. They stay right by your side.
And that brings us to the big question I want to leave you with today. Will you be a true friend to others? If you see someone who needs help, or maybe someone who's just feeling a little scared, I really hope you remember Ramu, Somu, the bear, and our wise King Vikram. I hope you choose to be brave and choose to stay right by their side. Thank you so much for joining me on this magical adventure today in the Explainer, and I absolutely can't wait to explore our next amazing topic with you very soon.
Like, share and subscribe for more videos.